Ooh, what an episode. That was a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. We talked about what did we talk about? We talked about a
We're
little bit of
going to
a
talk about.
Facebook. We're going to talk about. I forgot where we are. It's
Yeah.
time travel
Time
shit.
traveling,
Okay. Let me loop it back. We're going to talk about YouTube and the colossal fine that they received.
Yes. Facebook's
biggest
fine.
ever. Oh shit! Sorry, I'm really.
We do talk
this
about
intro.
YouTube. We also talk about the
YouTube.
fine that Facebook got.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Wow, roping me in
fine.
slowly. Holy moly! Anyway,
You've been gone for a couple
super
days.
close. I've been gone for a couple of weeks.
Gotta get back
We're
in the groove.
super duper close to 500 subs.
Oh yes, that's
also
close. So
we're
close.
really thankful for all of you that got us this super close, so close. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It so helps us, and we really appreciate you. And you'll find out, how much we appreciate you in this episode.
And incidentally, if by the time you watch this, we've already gotten to 5,000, just remember, we're this close to 1,000 subscribers. So please hit the like button.
Big news, kind of. Meta. This is a weird title. Meta, Facebook owner. Facebook owner, right? Fined 1.2 billion euros for mishandling data. This was something that had been coming up for a while. We're showing the BBC news article here, but it's been all over the news. It's the biggest fine ever, I think. It's 1.3 billion dollars, originally it was tiny. The Irish data protection controller, the DPC, I think the data protection controller, initially gave them a small fine. It was reviewed by the EU and then bumped up to a lot more. And previously, the biggest fine was 760 odd million. There's a great tweet out there which shows the top 10 fines, and it's like Facebook, Google, Facebook, all of them are huge. So it's still
for anybody who doesn't know, 1.2 billion euros is actually very close right now. 1.3 billion US dollars in real money.
In actual money.
Yeah.
Right. There's been like lots of different commentary about this. Some of it is like it's still nothing for them, and for other people it's it's the biggest fine ever. So
yeah,
there's other. Okay, sorry, go on, Mike.
I actually don't think it's nothing anymore. I think 6 months ago I would have agreed with that, but we did, and their stock has bounced back a little bit since they've done several rounds of layoffs now, but they've missed their earnings at the end of last year, maybe 2 quarters in a row. They have been laying off thousands of people. They abandoned the VR project. They lost users for the first time at the end of last year. I think to continue getting bad news like that and to continue to take on these huge and increasing fines, I think that's starting to hurt.
I agree. I think, what I was going to say before you so rudely cut me off there.
Oops, sorry. We only had 20 minutes on the episode. I didn't want to.
Yeah, sorry. Was that what a lot of the commentary is saying, and I kind of agree with, if it works out, is that the worst thing is that they might have to delete a lot of data, which would be a huge problem for them, and stop transferring data from the EU to the US. Because right now they're in violation of the GDPR because that's what they're doing. They're sharing data illegally that they're collecting in Europe, which they shouldn't be collecting in the first place, and sending it to the US and storing it on servers there, which is like hugely against the GDPR and should not be happening. There was a government, what do you call it, agreement in place, a privacy sharing thing, which I've forgotten the name of, where in the interest of law enforcement, the US and the EU could share data. But that hasn't been renewed, and it may be renewed by September. But if it's not, then Facebook are going to be in real trouble because the infrastructure changes are immense.
It's just called the Data Protection and Privacy Legislation, I believe.
Okay, very boring, very boring.
Yeah, the Data Act. We've done stories about this
guess-
before.
Yeah.
What I'd say is that I do think it hurts, and I do think that Mark's probably starting to feel the fire under his ass from Facebook or Meta's board. And
What fire? He's a majority shareholder. He can do what the fuck he likes.
sure, no, for sure, but he still gets complaints, right? Like, and
He doesn't. He's a robot.
I mean, what fire? The 1.2 billion euro sized fire. I mean, while yes, they probably make hundreds times this, or at least 100 times this a year. It's still, even a 1% cut like that is a big sting. Like
It's
when we're
a billion.
talking about $1 billion.
And I shared this
God.
earlier in the episode that yes, they're up from their low on November 4th, but a lot of this is bumps that they've gotten because of layoffs, not because they've done anything like good in the business. And taking these it's going to add up. Can they swallow it right now because they've still got a ton of cash? Yeah, probably. They're still making a shitload of money, but
They're also burning a shitload of money.
yeah, they are not on as solid ground as they were. And the pressure that's going to come down on Zuck is actually going to be shareholder lawsuits, if anything.
True.
It's kind of an interesting experiment, really, just to see how much one company or one person really can fuck up and still survive. Like, how big can a company get so big that it can just literally do whatever it wants and just continue
It's
messing up?
Too big to fail argument. And
Yeah.
I think that no one is actually immune to too big to fail, because all it takes is it's like the wind almost. Like all it takes is for the wind to change course, and then everyone stops using your platform. It's not even something you did, right? MySpace is a good example of that. There was nothing wrong with MySpace. There wasn't. Facebook didn't really do anything that much better besides, was it the like, right? That was really like, I think they're like, if I recall correctly, there was no like interaction on MySpace, but Facebook introduced the like, and like everyone fucking just started. And then also they tiered it, right? They started with universities first, and then they opened it to the general public. You kind of create hype. You've created a demand, like synthetically almost, because these college kids are talking about it, but these high schoolers can't join it. And all it takes is just one thing to take away all of their users.
Which is true. And everybody said that. But even 6 months ago, would anybody ever really believe that Facebook could be toppled?
I just think Facebook can be forgotten like MySpace and like Yahoo. And while sure, you can go to myspace.com or yahoo.com and it's still there, it's still alive, right? It's just a tiny, tiny little hill compared to the mountain that it was in its peak. And that's what it takes. But I'm not saying, I'm a big fucking... I'm a big pessimist when it comes to these companies. I've gotten a lot of bad predictions on the show of me saying they're done in 6 months, they're done in a year, and they're fucking still kicking. All those companies I condemned, especially Twitch, which is a fucking shame. Big shame on all those users who are like, oh, they got fucking source code completely dropped into the wild. Who cares? No.
There's no alternative. That's the thing. There's no alternative.
Well, there were alternatives, but the alternatives kind of sucked. And that was right after. It was so funny, the timing. It was right after Microsoft closed down Mixer.
Yep.
Okay.
It was.
Well, for Facebook, there aren't really any alternatives. I mean,
I think it's Facebook and YouTube.
Generational thing. I think and maybe this is horrible to say, but when Facebook uses that generation,
die off. You can say it. I mean, it's true.
Dies off.
I don't think it's like
maybe that will be the true end of Facebook.
I'm not even sure if Gen Zers are signing up for Facebook. I think they're on Insta.
I'd be curious to see how many new users they're getting. That is an interesting thing.
I think Instagram, and I think, what's the Facebook photo sharing service?
I think Instagram, and I think,
Oh, shoot, what's the Facebook photo sharing service? Is that Instagram? That's Instagram.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, yeah. So
That's it.
and Twitter's on a steep decline, but Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, I think, are probably the only three that are doing well right now. Oh, sorry,
Funny
Truth
thing about
Social. I
TikTok-
forgot to say Truth Social.
Oh, True Social, huge up and coming player.
That will never
in the
die.
game.
Yeah.
Definitely too
You know,
big to
it's
fail.
actually, I think YouTube and TikTok probably has the same problem as Vine, which is that, but YouTube specifically is a great example of this. YouTube costs Google money. YouTube doesn't
Really?
make money. YouTube is an expense.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Think about that. Think about the bandwidth and think about the video
Yeah.
hosting.
But I thought they made
So
tons of
much
on
money
ads.
in storage, not enough to cover the costs. Last time I looked into this, maybe it was a fucking fever dream, but last time I looked into this, YouTube was net negative every year.
I'm
trying to do
Googling-
some live
doing this
research real
fucking-
quick here, but
Sure,
Yeah,
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 go ahead. Prove me wrong. I like fact checking, and I like it even more when
YouTube
I don't have
make-
to do it.
yeah,
make
gross
a
profit
profit.
margin about 38%.
Are you sure?
No,
Fine. I'm going in.
All right,
I
fuck it,
I
we'll do it
think
live.
that the
People love this.
the
This is the
ad-
best part of the show.
my assumption would be that the cost of the ads is adjusted to pay for the service itself, but I don't know. It's at this scale, it's hard to kind of like normal economics kind of go out the window, and you know when it's so much.
I mean, that wasn't true for Twitter. That was a lot, and a lot of these. The problem is if you're talking about VC funded companies, a lot of times they're not profitable. So what you said about the advertising should cover their costs, yeah, that's totally true in normal business, but the rules are not the same for funded companies.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So this is from 2016. It said that Google was running YouTube at a loss. But then in Q4 of 2021, YouTube generated $8.6 billion in ad revenue.
Wow. That's a jump.
But that doesn't make them
nothing.
profitable. That just
Right,
makes
exactly.
the revenue.
It's not in profit, it's just in revenue.
All right.
So
But this says in 2022 they had a gross profit margin of 38%. So
totally it could be that, you know, what I read was old news. And this was also, again, what I said was from years ago, last time I looked into it. But I think it was like, I don't remember. My point is, I guess, that YouTube does now make money.
exactly like I
My
said.
new point. That's what I was saying all along.
Speaking of YouTube,
Anyway, fuck Facebook.
Fuck Facebook. Speaking of YouTube, watch out for our upcoming episode on YouTube for you.
Oh no, we're not
which is gonna be
using
talking
that
about-
name.
I like it. Or how to be
What is
mediocre.
this?
No,
How to be mediocre on
There
YouTube.
you go.
Yeah. This is
That's
going to be an
a good
in-depth
one.
study
That's gonna be fun.
with, I like how YouTube for you. People forget the you in YouTube. You know, it's all about you guys.
Putting the U
There's
back
no
in
U.
YouTube. All right.
There you go.
Yeah, putting the you back in YouTube. There we go. Nailed it.
All right. Can we be done now?
We're done. Yeah.
See you guys tomorrow.